lists the four major types of hypersensitivity reactions: cytotoxic, cell mediated, immune complex, anaphylactic. What are the messages given through the public media about toxic chemicals? Exposure to toxic chemicals have dramatically increased the risk of cancer. Common household and agricultural chemicals are causing many human diseases and death. Polluted air and water are major sources of disease risk. Environmental chemicals are interfering with the reproductive processes in humans and producing harmful effects in the fetus and young children. What are the major mechanisms of chemical injury? Interfere with enzyme activity, directly combine with some cell component other than the enzymes, produce a secondary action in which a chemical causes the release of or formation of a more harmful substance. What is environmental disease and its external causal factors? Environmental disease refers to any pathologic process having a characteristic set of signs and symptoms which are detrimental to the well being of the individual and are the consequence of external factors, including exposure to physical or chemical agents, poor nutrition, and social or cultural behaviors. What are the differences between DNA and messenger RNA? Messenger RNA is quite similar to its DNA counterpart, except it is single stranded, contains the nucleotide base uracil instead of thiamine, and the sugar D ribose instead of 2 deoxyribose in the 4 mononucleotides. What are the health consequences of air pollution? Air pollution increases the risk of respiratory and heart diseases in the population. Both short and long term exposure to air pollution pollutants have been associated with health impacts. More severe impacts affect people who are already ill. Children, the elderly, and poor people are more susceptible. How bad is air pollution? Air pollution is a major environmental health problem affecting everyone. It is a problem from exhaust fumes from cars, domestic combustion or factory smoke. Worldwide, there are risks to health from exposure to particulate matter and ozone in many cities of developed and developing countries alike. In which regions of the world or countries and cities are particulate matter concentration particularly high? As often is the case, the biggest air pollution related burden to health is observed in developing countries. The lack of knowledge of the health impacts from pollution is a big obstacle in defining the actions and mobilizing local and international resources. Have there been any new guidelines or other significant, relevant documents since 2005 about the health impact of air pollution? The 2005 global guidelines are the most up to date, providing the latest scientific evidence. They set targets for air quality which would protect the large majority of individuals from the effects of air pollution on health. Which effects can be expected of long term exposure to levels of particulate matter observed currently in Europe? Long term exposure to current ambient particulate matter concentrations may lead to a marked reduction in life expectancy. The reduction in life expectancy is primarily due to increased cardiovascular and lung cancer mortality. Increase are likely in lower respiratory symptoms and reduced lung function in children, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and reduced lung function in adults. Is there a threshold below which no effects on health of particulate matter are expected to occur in all people? Epidemiological studies on large populations have been unable to identify a threshold concentration below which ambient particulate matter has no effect on health. It is likely that within any large human population there is such a wide range in susceptibility that some subjects are at risk even at the lowest end of the concentration range. Are effects of the pollutant dependent on the subject's characteristics such as age, gender, underlying disease, smoking status, atopy, education, etc. What are the critical characteristics? In short term studies, elderly subjects and subjects with pre existing heart and lung disease were found to be more susceptible to effects of ambient particulate matter on mortality and morbidity. In panel studies, asthmatics have also been shown to respond to ambient particulate matter with more symptoms, larger lung function changes, and with increased medication use than non asthmatics. In long term studies, it has been suggested that socially disadvantaged and poorly educated populations respond more strongly in terms of mortality. Particulate matter also is related to reduced lung growth in children. No consistent differences have been found between men and women and between smokers and non smokers in particulate PM responses in the cohort studies. For PM, which means particulate matter, which of the physical and chemical characteristics of particulate air pollution are responsible for health effects? There is strong evidence to conclude that fine particles, which are less than 2.5 micrometer, are more hazardous than larger ones in terms of mortality and cardiovascular and respiratory endpoints in panel studies. This this does not imply that the coarse fraction of particulate matter 10 is innocuous. In toxicological and controlled human exposure studies, several physical, biological, and chemical characteristics of particles have been found to elicit cardiopulmonary responses. Amongst the characteristics found to be contributing to toxicity in epidemiological and controlled exposure studies are metal content, presence of PAHs, other organic components, endotoxin, and both small and extremely small size, that would be below 100 nanometer. What is the evidence of synergy or interaction of the pollutant with other air pollutants? Few epidemiological studies have addressed interactions of particulate matter with other pollutants. Toxicological and controlled human exposure studies have shown additive or, and in some cases, more than additive effects, especially for combinations of particulate matter and ozone and of particulate matter and allergens. Finally, studies of atmospheric chemistry demonstrate that particulate matter interacts with gases to alter its composition and hence its toxicity. What is the relationship between ambient levels and personal exposure to pollutant over short term and long term studies? Can the differences influence the results of the studies? Whereas personal exposure to particulate matter and its components is influenced by indoor sources in addition to outdoor sources, there is a clear relationship on population level between ambient PM and personal PM of ambient origin over time, especially for fine combustion particles. On a population level, personal PM of ambient origin tracks ambient PM over time. Thus, measurements of PM in ambient air can serve as a reasonable proxy for personal exposure in time series studies. The relationship between long-term average ambient PM concentration and long-term average personal PM exposure has been studied less. Contributions to personal PM exposure from smoking and occupation need to be taken into account. However, the available data suggests that imperfect relations between ambient and personal PM do not invalidate the results of the long-term studies. Which effects can be expected of long-term exposure to levels of ozone observed currently in Europe? Both clinical and preclinical effects. There are few epidemiological studies on the chronic effects of ozone on human health. Incidence of asthma, a decreased lung function growth, lung cancer, and total mortality are the main outcomes studied. At levels currently observed in Europe, the evidence linking ozone exposure to asthma incidence and prevalence in children and adults is not consistent. Available evidence suggests that long-term ozone exposure reduces lung function growth in children. There is little evidence for an independent long-term ozone effect on lung cancer. Is there a threshold below which ozone have no effects on health are expected to occur in all people? There may be different concentration response curves for individuals in the population response to ozone exposure. There is evidence for a threshold for lung damage and inflammation at about 60 to 80 parts per billion for short-term exposure, which would be around 6.6 hours with intermittent moderate exercise. Where there are thresholds, they depend on the individual exercise levels. What is the evidence of synergy or interaction of ozone with other air pollutants? Epidemiological studies shows that short-term effects of ozone can be enhanced by particulate matter and vice versa. Experimental evidence from studies at higher ozone concentrations shows synergistic, additive, or antagonistic effects depending on the experimental design, but their relevance for ambient exposure is unclear. Ozone may act as a primer for allergen response. Are effects of nitrous oxide dependent upon the subject's characteristics such as age, gender, underlying disease, smoking status, atopy, education, etc.? What are the critical characteristics? In general, individuals with asthma are expected to be more responsive to short-term exposure to inhaled gas agents when compared to individuals without asthma. Controlled human exposure studies of short-term responses of persons with and without asthma to NO2 have not been carried out. There is limited evidence from epidemiological studies that individuals with asthma show steeper concentration response relationships. Small scale human exposure studies have not shown consistent effects of NO2 exposure on airways reactivity in persons with asthma, even at exposure levels higher than typical ambient concentrations. As for other pollutants, children can reasonably be considered to be at increased risk. There is limited evidence for influence of the other listed factors on the effects of NO2. Is the considered pollutant NO2 per se responsible for effects on health? The evidence for acute effects of NO2 comes from controlled human exposure studies to NO2 alone. For the effects observed in epidemiological studies, a clear answer to the question cannot be given. Effects estimated for NO2 exposure in epidemiological studies may reflect other traffic-related pollutants for which NO2 is a surrogate. Additionally, there are complex interrelationships among the concentrations of NO2, PM, and ozone in ambient air. What is the evidence of synergy or interaction of the pollutant NO2 with other air pollutants? There have been few controlled human exposure studies on interactions with other chemical pollutants, although several studies show that NO2 exposure enhances responses to inhaled pollens. Some epidemiological studies have explored statistical interactions of NO2 with other pollutants, including particles, but the findings are not readily interpretable.